What's up everyone, Master Fox here. As most of you guys know, I play Teller Knights a lot, and I recently got in a debate with one of my friends about Vanity's Emptiness. For me, I've still been using Vanity's Emptiness as a solid staple in my decks, and he argued that it was no longer a staple card. He even went as far to say that it was not even a card worthy to use in the side deck. Initially, I really disagreed with this, telling him that Vanity's Emptiness is a very good card. Vanity's Emptiness is able to allow you to control tempo, as well as seal off victories once you establish the board and then flipped it on your opponent's turn. However, his argument was that Vanity's Emptiness was essentially useless this format because the main threats were pendulums, and pendulums aren't really worried about a card like Vanity's Emptiness because against their pendulum summon, you have to predict when they're going to pendulum summon and use it preemptively, which is a really bad way to use Vanity's Emptiness because your opponent can capitalize upon the drawback of the card itself. For example, you use it preemptively once they throw down 2 scales. They could just get to their dragon pit and then destroy another trap card on your side of the field, causing you to go minus off of that. Then taking a look at the other contenders of this format, we see Cosmos and then Monarchs, which are on the near horizon. Neither deck really cares about Vanity's Emptiness. Cosmos, for example, can just chain their pilot's effects to the activation of Vanities and get them off the field and summon the ships on before you can even stop them from their special summons. So it doesn't really help you too much there, although I mean you could still technically lock them down if you're able to get a board up and then activate Vanities, but this could be said for any matchup, and it's not particularly useful against Cosmos if they could just chain their pilots off. So you're not really heavily countering them as you were in decks in the past, where if you flipped it against something like a Necros Mirror or a Shaddoll Fusion, it could really disrupt them and shut down their tempo, causing them to lose that card. Cosmos don't really lose anything for that. And then Monarchs, well, I mean, if you get it off first turn, they can't really get their tribute fodder up, but they still have things like Stormforth to be able to out Vanities, which basically is going to put you at a -2 when they tribute your monster, so they're not too worried about Vanity's Emptiness either. In looking at the meta, I think I end up agreeing with him because it looks like Vanity's Emptiness isn't that effective of a card against the big dogs, things like Pendulums with Pepe and Pendulum Magicians, Cosmos and Monarchs, which are basically going to be the main decks you're going to be seeing. Vanity's Emptiness just isn't that great of a card in the main deck right now. There are other cards that you could use that are a lot better for tempo. Even things like Trap Tricks, Trap Hole Nightmare would be a lot better, especially considering the fact that there's a card that just came out of Bosch right now, Trap Tricks Rafflesia, which can make use of this card from the main deck itself. Plus, even the effect of Trap Tricks, Trap Hole Nightmare itself is probably better than something like Vanity's Emptiness because it has disruptive potential. You can disrupt something like a Skull Crobat Joker, for example, which would be much better than activating an Emptiness against it, of course. Now, don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying that Vanity's Emptiness is a bad card by any means. It's still a very powerful card that can seal games when used at the right moment, although it's just not the greatest call for this meta. I think it's still useful in the side, and I'm definitely going to be siding mine, because if you run into more roguish decks, they're still very much crippled by Vanity's Emptiness. It's just the big decks that aren't going to be really caring too much if you flip a Vanities on them. So that's pretty much it for this video. Tell me guys your opinions in the comments section below, give this video a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you.